Hi, Saikal. How are you?
Yes, hello, sir. Good. How about you?
I'm very good. Okay. So you're doing today demo on EKS web page creation, right?
Yes,
AWS EKS using
yes,
AWS EKS, right?
yes. Mhm.
Okay. Please go ahead.
Yes, we today deploy simple web page in NGINX by using AWS EKS. The EKS it's one of the component of the AWS services, so which allows to run Kubernetes on AWS cloud. And it's manage master AWS. It's managed master nodes and install necessary application like container runtime, Kubernetes master. It will take care of scaling it when needed, doing backup on that, etc. So it means you don't need to worry only create. You need to worry about the worker nodes when we're creating, because all the process will doing on the worker nodes. So it's high availability. EKS run and scale the Kubernetes control plane across the different availability zones. Also, Amazon EKS can be integrated with other AWS services to provision various facilities. For example, worker nodes can be provisioned by AWS EC2 instance. So for this task, we have some performed. We need to install EKS cluster. We need to create pod in this cluster, create deployment in the cluster, create node port service in the cluster. After when we did all this process, I want to show you how we can access to our web page using the public IP, which would be the worker nodes IP. And also I will create the load balancer service in the cluster where we can access through our web page using the DNS of this load balancer. So for this task, first what we need to do, we have to launch EC2 instance, and after that we need to install CLI. We need to configure, provide our access key and secret key. After that, we need to install kubectl. This is the CLI tool running command, again resource in Kubernetes cluster, which communicate via cluster API server and works with any Kubernetes cluster. I will show you documentation where we can install kubectl. So first what we need to do is install launch EC2 instance. So I'm on my AWS account. Here it's my user admin. I'm located in North Virginia. So let me go launch instance. I will call this instance AWS EKS. I want to choose the Ubuntu. AMI, the version would be 20.4. T2 micro. Keeper, you can use your existing keeper or you can create new keeper. Network setting, we put by default VPC availability zones, and after assign public IP, it should be enabled. For security group, we can allow SSH, and I will choose HTTP. Configure storage, I will use by default, so I don't need to touch here. So launch instance. So it's pending. First, what we need to do after, when my machine is ready, we need to SSH through a vision code or terminal using SSH keeper. So go to my terminal. So my key is located on downloads. Copy paste. Yes, so I'm on Ubuntu machine. Next, what we need to do, I want to update my server. For that, I'm using command sudo apt get update. Next, I need to install AWS CLI. This is the tool where I need to provide my access and secret key for AWS configure. So let's go to run command sudo apt get install AWS CLI -y. So I'm running command AWS configure. And here I need to provide my access key. So this is my access key for the user. And here my secret key. Default region name, I will use the North Virginia, which is US East 1. And default option format, I will press enter. So next step, what I need to do is I need to install kubectl. This is the CLI tool which help us to run resources in Kubernetes cluster. So for all of this command, we can go to documentation, install kubectl in AWS. So here we have the instruction and how to install it. So for install and update kubectl, we have the options for macOS, Linux, and Windows. I will choose Linux. I will choose the Kubernetes 1.22. So let me go and copy this command. So next, we need to download the SSH 256 for your cluster. So go 1.22. Next, I need to check the SSH 256 sum for your downloaded binary. Now I need to give permission for apply this binary. And after that, I need to create folder where I need to copy the binary to this path, home bin kubectl. And I need to add this home bin path to your shell. Let me copy this command. And after that, I need to verify the version of kubectl. So my version is 1.22.15 EKS FB459. So we successfully installed kubectl. Now we can verify it to the console. Or I can go to the search button, go to EKS. Yes. So next what we need to do is install EKS-ctl command. This is the CLI tool for creating cluster on EKS, and it only works in AWS EKS. So for this, I go to the documentation. So here you can choose the macOS, Linux, or Windows. I will choose the Linux. So I want to copy this command. After that, I need to move the extracted binary to this folder. And now I want to test installation. Yes, my version is 0.125. Now I want to create cluster. For creating cluster, I will use command EKS-ctl create cluster -- name. I will give name test. Let's say 1, or just test. Region, I will use US East 1 because I'm on US East, North Virginia. For availability zones 1A and 1B, and it's without node group, so I can copy from here. Okay, let me change test name for demo. So it give me error because this cluster name it already exists. So that's why I changed the name, and it start creating for me the EKS CTL version. It's come up, so it's using the region US test 1. It's create for me the subnet for availability zone 1 US test 1 and 1 US test B. It's using Kubernetes version 1.24, and it's creating EKS cluster called demo in US East region with parameters. After creation cluster, we can check on our console, and we can see on Kubernetes services our cluster called demo, and we can see availability zone, security groups, VPC subnets, all of these things. EKS will be created for us for deploying application. It's take time. So after creating cluster, we have to create node group with additional parameters in public subnet. Also, we need to verify our cluster using some of the kubectl commands. After that, we need to create pod. I will explain it. Pods, it's the fundamental building in Kubernetes. So it's pod can run multiple containers inside one pod. Each pod gets its own IP address, and each pod can communicate with each other using that IP address. So pod is nothing more than a box in which the containerized application are being kept. Then these pods are being deployed on the Kubernetes node. So we will create the one pod. After that, we will create deployment where we will specify the replication. Also, the container name. After that, creating deployment, we will create the services. Services is basically a static IP address or permanent IP address that can be attached to each pod. And after creating services, we can verify our public IP through the web page where we can see our NGINX web page. Through the web server, we can see our NGINX web page. So the creating EKS cluster, it takes time. So our cluster control plane should be ready. So it's create for us the building cluster. So after creating cluster, we need to create an associate OIDC provider for our EKS cluster. For this, we're using command EKSCTL utils associate OIDC provider, which would be region US East 1, cluster demo, and it should be approved. Now we have access to provider when we after running this command. Let's take time.
Good afternoon. It is still creating.
Yes, it's still creating. It's already done. It should be available.
So we test the page with the DNS.
Yes, after creating load balancer, we can test through the DNS.
Okay. Now
It's creating. Yes, it's ready.
Web page IP, right?
Yes.
Pod IP.
Yes. So our cluster is ready. So we can check in our console. So we can go to, let me refresh it. We can go to our EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Services. And you can see here my cluster is called demo and it's active. It's version 1.24. So next step, what we need to do is we need to create an associate IAM or OIDC provider. So for this, I'm using this command, EKS utils associate. I will give the cluster name demo and my region will US East 1. So I'm copy this and I want to paste. So we'll create IAM OpenID Connect provider, create IAM OpenID Connect provider for cluster demo in US East 1. So next, what we need to do, we need to create a node group with additional parameters in public subnet. For this, I'm using all of this configuration. So here, my cluster name is demo. So region is US East 1, name EKS demo ng public 1, node group type 2T3 medium, the instance, nodes 2, minimum 2 nodes, maximum 4. Also volume size 20, it would be create. The SSH access would be using public key. This is my key name. And this is the managed ACG access, external DNS access, full ECR access. For all of this, they will be creating. So let me copy this command. So it's take time a little bit, less than creating cluster, but it should be available.
Load balancer creation or what?
Not yet. So it's creating using EC2 node group. It's take Amazon Linux to 1.24. It's take my keeper, one node group on EKS demo on public. So it's creating node groups in the cluster demo. And now it should.
Okay. Later on, you will be installing load balancer on nodes.
Yes. Should be available soon. It's not take too much time than creating cluster. Yes, it's ready. So let me check. I'm using command kubectl get nodes. And we can see here 2 IP addresses, and it's ready. We can check using command kubectl get nodes -o wide, where we can see all the IP addresses, containers, internal, external IP addresses, and images, Amazon Linux. You can see here, and the version of EKS. So next step, let me create that one pod, which will call static web. I will give the name static website. Here we will specify the container name, web image. We will create NGINX, and it would be port 80 protocol TCP. So this is the pod YAML file, how it should be look like. So let me go to my terminal and using command sudo vi pod.yaml. So insert, and I can take here. So I'm creating the pod. So I want to check to make sure all of this it's correct, because this is case sensitive. If it's something would be not match, it will be not created for us. Name, static web label should be under name. Let me run command kubectl I'm running command kubectl apply -f pod.yaml, and we will see the our pod will be running. Apply -f pod.yaml. Yes, I have error in this when you copy paste it. We need to be make sure. Hang on. Container. And image I will call name web. Let's give the image name NGINX. Also, I need to specify ports. It should be under name web container port. ERI and protocol TCP. Let me run again. API version 1. Protocol should be TCP. Okay, let me take and copy from here. Maybe it should be works. Yes. So I created the pod. So how we can change, how we can verify, we need to run command kubectl get pods, and we will see our pod should be running, state running. After that, we can delete this pod using the name, and we can verify using the command kubectl get pods. So let me check my pod is running or not. For this one, I'm using command kubectl get pods. Get pods, and see the static web, it's running. So I can delete this pod using the name of this pod. So kubectl delete pod, and I need to specify the pod name. My pod name is static web. So my pod is deleted. So let me verify using command kubectl get pod. And no resources found in default namespaces. So I don't have any pods here. So next, what I want to do, I want to create deployment. So for this deployment, I can specify how many replicas I need, which application should be running on my pod. So it's going to be NGINX application. I will be specify the container name, NGINX container. I will also specify the port name and the image. So let me copy from here and using command sudo vi deploy .yaml. So I'm running commands kubectl apply -f deploy.yaml, and it's created for me deployment. Now we can see if we want to see how many replication it's created for us, we can use command kubectl get deploy. And we will see here we have 5 NGINX replication available. And if I'm running command kubectl get pods -o white, I will see all my containers is running. So we can see here if you see here the IP addresses, one of them is ending 4783, one of them is ending 1547. So let me verify to my console. If we go to my EC2, see, it's create for me the demo EKS demo NGINX. So let me go to one of this and verify the IP address is 4753. Here is 4783. Sorry, 4783, 4783. So let me open my second instance and verify the private IP address. So here we have the address 1547. So here 1547, 1547. So everything is working. My containers is running. So next step, I want to create one services. So service is basically a static IP address or permanent IP address that can be attached to each pod. So my application have its own service, and database part also will also have its own service. So it include the node port, cluster IP, and load balancer. So let's create an SVC YAML file. I want to show you here. I want to create SVC YAML file. Here I'm running command sudo vi .yaml. So here I am specifying API version, service, metadata name, my services, run NGINX app, Spectre selector NGINX application, type node port. So node port is exposes service via static port on each node's IP. In simple terms, this service helps to expose the service application running on the pod to the end of the user. The node port I will be specified 31111, target port 80. So let me save this and run command kubectl apply -f svc.yaml, and it's create for us services. So next, what I want to do, I want to run command kubectl get svc, and you will see the one of them is Kubernetes cluster IP, which I have already. So second, I create the service port node using the node port, and it's 80 port 3111 TCP. So next, what I want to do, I want to check my pods, kubectl get pods, and all my ports it's running, so I don't have any issues here. Now I want to delete the SVC because this is I created just for verifying to see how it's the SVC file can be created for the static IP. Next, why I want to use when I want to delete CSV file, we don't need it because I will be create the load balancer and use the load balancer DNS name for checking the NGINX web page. So let me first check NGINX web page through my public IP. So I'm going to my instance. Let me take one of my instance, take public IP and paste 31111. It's not come up because I need the secure. I have to check my security. So let's go to my security. Yes, I need to edit inbound rule. Let me. And rule all TCP anywhere. Save this rule. And also I want to do the same thing on my second. Okay, let me verify. Copy public IP. And you see here the welcome to NGINX web page we will see here. So next, what I want to do, I want to create load balancer. I want to delete CVS file because I don't need it. I want to create load balancer and use DNS name of this load balancer to check welcome to NGINX web page, because if something happened in with pods or application, the CSV file we don't need to use. We need to use load balancer for the users who can make accessible for this web page. So for this one, I'm going to and create load balancer. Before that, I need to delete SVC file. So for this, I'm using command kubectl delete and then name my service. And it's deleted. So let's run in command kubectl we don't have the my services because it's deleted. So next, what I want to do, I want to create the load balancer. For this, I'm using command sudo vi load balancer.yaml. Here on my documentation, I provide the load balancers YAML configuration. So here the API version, I need to copy this and paste to my. So this is the service and it's called the my service name, run NGINX application. Type, I provide load balancer. So external traffic policy local, and I provided port node port 31000. You can provide until up to 31. You can give the 3120, 3180. The port I will give 80. So I'm running command kubectl apply -f load balancer.yaml, and my load balancer is created. Kubectl get pods. All my pods it's running. Get so I'm go to my console, go to my load balancer. I see here it's create for me the load balancer. So I'm go to take the DNS and it should be give me the web page on NGINX.
share that to my message box? I'll also paste it.
This is the NGINX web page through my load balancer DNS number. So
yeah, you copy here. Let me test.
Yes, I will give it to you. You can check.
Oh, great. It is appearing. Server is coming up. Yes. Good. So now, with this, you are capable of handling EKS setup for a site, right?
Yes. And here I provide the, all the references which we can use for deploying this application. How we can use the pod, how we can use the service, load balancer. All it's in the documentation.
Okay. Okay, I'll stop.